Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alan. Appreciate everybody that joins me and shares and comments. And we want to remind you right up front to sign up for the newsletter at enjoylifesafely.com. It's going to be going out tonight with a bunch of information to help you stay safe, enjoy life, be exceptional. Going to focus on some of the cold weather this week because of that Arctic blast that has hit so many of us. It's a little warmer today here in Montana. It's not above zero, but it's not down in the negative 20s either. So got a little bit of a heat wave coming. It's just in the minus teens or so. I am here today with a DMZ cup. Now, why do I have my DMZ cup today? Because I remember being at the DMZ. And if you've never been there, I'll describe it a little bit. You're on the South Korea side, and you can look out over into North Korea, and you will see fake cities. They're there just for show. They're BS. And there's these big billboards with propaganda, all false information, false city, false billboards. You know, and you get on Facebook and some of the social media a few years ago, you could post anything you wanted. Nobody cared. I mean, there were two individuals and a few of their followers that posted tons of false information about me, just blatant lies. And people would believe them, except for the people that would come to me and ask me about it. And then I would show them the truth. And I'd say, go to one of those two guys. Ask them the same questions. I bet you they won't be as forthcoming as I've been with you. And they'd go do that and find out and come back and realize that I was telling the truth. And the things that those two were saying were just outright lies. And that's what we need to do. When we need to keep ourselves safe and we're responsible for our own safety, we also are responsible for what we believe and what we don't believe. And using some common sense and some brain power to figure things out for ourselves and fact check ourselves and learn what's true or not. But fast forward a little bit, and the powers that own Facebook, they don't like the political climate, so they're going to do that for us. They're going to fact check posts, and they're going to ban and cover up things that are false information. And they're going to flag people that share false information because they're going to protect us. Well, just like I tell you, you can't rely on the government and everybody else to protect you when it comes to your personal safety. Don't rely on Facebook to protect you from false information, because their fact checkers are blatantly wrong sometimes. And if they're blatantly wrong sometimes on some simple things, and I'm going to show you here in a minute to prove it, what else are they wrong on? So you're relying on them. It's BS. Because I'll show you some blatant things where they were absolutely wrong. And if they're wrong on something so simple and easy, how could you trust them for anything more complicated? Dixon says, I hope you're enjoying a sub-zero Sunday. I am, Dixon, because it's warmer than yesterday. We're not above zero, but we're not in the minus 20s either. So what am I talking about? Let's go here and look. Because recently, I have been flagged by Facebook for sharing false information on posts that I created and shared myself. They are saying those posts are false information. They have flagged my account. They have discontinued some things for me. And, so I'm in jeopardy of losing my entire Facebook account. This video, they might just delete me altogether. Who knows? But I want to show you what has been flagged as false information by Facebook. So I'm going to add this up here, and you should be able to see this. Now, this is on my page. You can see this is my home page, Alan Burris, my personal page. And I shared a post from Alan Burris' business page. It's more the, where I share all the motivational quotes. And you can see Facebook has called this post false information. The same information was checked in another post by independent fact checkers. See why. And then they added this little article down here. There is no evidence that Winston Churchill said this quote about success and failure. These pop up by the dozens every day. That's their fact check related article. Now we go up here and we say, see why. You get this information. False information. Independent fact checkers say this information has no basis in fact. You can choose whether to see it. All right, so see the post. There's the original post. Overnight success often comes after years of hard work, with my name down at the bottom because I shared it on my page. Nowhere does it say anything about Winston Churchill? And I will argue anyone that this is not false. There have been many people that have been considered overnight successes that have put in years of hard work before they achieve that success. So what is false about overnight success often comes after years of hard work. There is nothing false about that, and there is nothing about Winston Churchill. So if Facebook can't get that right, and they're calling this false information, and this is the third time they have done the exact same thing. I could go back and show you a couple other posts. They did the same thing, and it was that same Winston Churchill, and the post had absolutely nothing to do with Winston Churchill. They were just simple little success type quote saying something like success comes after hard work. All right, that's false. And nowhere did I say Winston Churchill said it. But they have flagged my account. They're calling my post false. Let's see, we could find another one. I could go, because one of them was on the Enjoy Life Safely site. So if we went to Enjoy Life Safely, we'll pop up that and we'll go over to that page. And we will look at the photos that are shared. We'll scroll down here and find the one they have covered up, because I know they did it to this account once as one of the 3 times they've done it to me. Oh, now I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's hidden completely. There was one that they had covered up on this page too. And it was the same thing. It was saying that I was, oh, there it is right there. Here we go. I passed it. So false information. See why. And they give you that same thing. It's false. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. What is false about that? And I think if I remember, they had that same Winston Churchill never said this. I never said Winston Churchill said it. I didn't credit to anybody really. Enjoy Life Safely websites across the top because it's on that page. But success is not final. Failure is not fatal. And I believe it is the courage to continue that counts. But that was another one that was flagged, and why my personal account is now flagged for sharing false information. And they discontinued the monetization of my account because that had just started a few months ago. They allowed me to have monetization for my account, and now that has been turned off because of violations. So I have 3 violations for false information, and all 3 of them were because my quotes that I shared weren't said by Winston Churchill, and I never said anything about Winston Churchill. And I have one more flag on my account because I shared a Reflex Protect post. Reflex Protect has a brand new product. They're the grenades. And what they are is you pop the thing and you throw it in a room and it puts the gas out. So it's not the stream that Reflex Protect is known for. And we have an OC one and a CS one, and they're for law enforcement only. They're only sold to law enforcement. As for law enforcement, they throw them in a room and it fills the room with either pepper spray gas or the CS gas, and it helps them do their job with a non-lethal tool. And there is no explosives or anything about it. So it's not like it goes in there, goes boom like a flashbang or anything. It's basically you pop the top and the gas starts coming out and you throw it in. And so Reflex Protect posted that, and I manage a Reflex Protect's account, and it was posted and I shared it. They flagged it as a weapon and an explosive and against their gun and explosives policy, even though there's actually no explosive involved in it. It's just called a gas grenade. It's industry what they call them. So I disputed it with Facebook on the Reflex Protect page, and they came back fairly quickly and said, okay, yes, this post is allowed. And so it is back up on the Facebook page. However, the warning on my personal account and the red flag saying I violated their standards is still there. They won't remove that. Go figure. Like I said, if you actually believe that they are really fact checking things accurately, I just showed you they're not. And the reason I wanted to show people this today is because if you're calling yourself a fact checker, you better have your shit together and be accurate and right. And if you're not, I want people to know it, because my job is trying to help you stay safe from all sorts of different threats. And I don't want you believing anybody without doing some independent thought and research and verification. I don't want you getting scammed by these scumbag scammers. But I think it's just as bad when somebody is promoting that they are the fact checkers and keeping false information from you and the guardians of truth, and they're wrong. That does nobody any good either. Actually, that can do people harm because they start believing that, and you get that trust into that. And that's just like trusting that the government and the police are going to keep you safe. It's our personal responsibility to keep ourselves safe. They do things to help with our safety, guaranteed. But they can't be there and hold your hand and keep you safe 24/7. That's up to us. The same with information and stuff that comes to us, whether it's coming to us through the telephone, through the internet, through people. Remember President Reagan quoting the Russian saying, trust but verify. And that's what we need to do. And we need to use our own brains, verify things on our own, and not blindly follow and think that these entities are actually doing things in our best interest all the time, when they're not always. So I just wanted to share that. It's been frustrating for me being called a spreader of false information, having that post, my posts covered up, when there's absolutely nothing false about what I've posted. Want to say good morning to Kellen. Appreciate you being here. And she says, hashtag frustration. It is frustrating. You wake up and you get on social media and the first thing you see is you have violated Facebook standards, blah, 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 blah. Right. Dixon says, got to be careful as to who you trust. We do. And again, we can't rely on someone else always checking the facts and telling us who and what to believe, when they might have an agenda. They might be wrong. So we need to trust and verify, use some brain power. That's why Jim Rohn used to say, don't just always read the good stuff. You got to read the bad stuff too, so you know what's going on. You read a book about Gandhi and you read a book about Hitler. You can see how high a person can go, and you can see how low a person can go. We need to do that, enrich our own minds, verify our own facts, and just be careful of what we see and what we see out there, because not everything is as it seems. That's what I wanted to share today. Just sort of a little different, little frustration I've had with Facebook, and wanted you to be aware of what's going on in case it happens to you, or just so you are a little bit more eyes open when you're looking at things, and do some investigation and make sure that things are what they seem to be, and verify it for yourself. Go out if you're in the north and have a sub-zero Sunday. If you're down south, have a sunny Sunday, and we will see you tomorrow.